Simply put, we must raise the debt limit, we must do it now, and we must do it without wrecking lives and livelihoods to appease eccentric billionaires.
I want to talk about the Debt on Arrival Act of 2023.
Kevin McCarthy's so-called Limit, Save, Grow Act, more accurately known on our side as the Default on America Act, an act cobbled together by House extremists in back rooms in the dark of night. Since the House didn't hold a single hearing on this extreme and dangerous measure, the Senate will.
I don't know what Republicans think they're doing, defaulting on our national debt. But this is not happening.
MAGA Republicans' dangerous bill proposes a terrible choice. Default on our financial obligations, causing widespread pain and wrecking our economy, or gut basic federal programs essential to our economic strength, causing widespread pain and wrecking our economy. It is a false and unnecessary choice. MAGA Republicans have claimed they are averting a catastrophe by setting up this rotten choice. Do not believe it. They are causing one. Many of them want one. Our Republican House friends care about the debt sporadically. With Republican presidents, they pass huge tax cuts for the wealthy and large corporations, adding trillions to the debt. More than $7 trillion of debt was added under President Trump, and almost $3 trillion was added under President George W. Bush, the last two Republican presidents.
This will immediately wipe out 7 million jobs. Republicans are bluffing. There's no way even Kevin McCarthy is so stupid as to wipe out 7 million voters' jobs.
But when there's a Democrat in the Oval Office, they seek to interfere with the ability of government to function, whether it's shutdowns or near defaults or blocking economic recovery legislation. They seek to cause chaos. Not coincidentally, this serves the eccentric and secretive billionaires and polluting industries who are the Republican Party's funders, whose stated goal is to destroy the so-called administrative state, the agencies that protect regular people against powerful polluters and special interests. The party's funders, chief among them the fossil fuel industry, demand reward. And 275 out of 315 pages of the dirty Default on America bill are devoted to giveaways to the fossil fuel industry. 275 out of 315 pages.
Bear in mind, this is money we've already spent, 7 trillion of which came from Donald Trump alone. Let's not even mention multiple wars. So, of course, Republicans don't want to pay the bill that they incurred. Go figure. I mean, my God, running out on the check after you ate the meal? That's chicken shit.
What is the history here? Since Bill Clinton took office 30 years ago, Congress has raised or suspended the debt limit 10 times under Republican presidents. We've raised it under divided Congresses and under unified ones. We've even raised the debt limit twice under unified Republican control, with no strings attached, with President Trump in office. And 2 of the 3 times we raised the debt limit under President Trump were paired with spending increases.
These are people's lives. We can't fuck around with this. My God, man, it will destroy our economy. Last time y'all even talked about it, it fucked up our economy. Please don't do this.
Attempting to extract partisan policy concessions with threats to intentionally drive the American economy off a cliff is the very definition of extremism. Democrats haven't threatened default unless Congress also passes gun control legislation or climate legislation, even though those are desperately needed policies with broad popular support. Why not? Because crashing the global economy, if we don't get what we want, isn't policymaking. It's hostage-taking and it's extremism.
Beyond the massive giveaways to big oil, let's not forget Some little subtle details. One of my favorites is a work requirement of 80 hours a month for Medicaid. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to go to work before you can see your doctor. What the fuck are we doing?
So let's examine the two terrible options the dirty DOA bill tees up. Option one is the Republican default option. What will that cost? Dr. Zandi estimates that a default of even just a few days would lead to a recession, cost close to 1 million jobs, and raise unemployment from 3.4% to 5%. A longer default would cost over 7 million jobs and push the unemployment rate over 8%. Interest rates on car loans, mortgages, and credit cards would rise for decades. Their other option is their Default on America Act, with its massive backroom, devastating cuts to things like border security, law enforcement, education, affordable energy, opioid treatment, Meals on Wheels, elderly housing, and administering Social Security benefits. Supports vital to our economic growth and well-being.
So Republican scum-suckery is at an all-time high. They're gonna hold the line on the debt, by God.
Those caps on discretionary spending will affect a huge swath of what the government does, including the Defense Department and veterans' health care. Republicans maintain that defense and veterans would not be cut, but no exemption for veterans appears in the 315 pages. When Congress imposes spending caps, defense and veterans programs get the squeeze, along with everything else. Even if defense and veterans health programs were allowed to grow with inflation, that just shifts cuts to the remaining discretionary programs. Under this future, law enforcement, child nutrition, and scientific research would all be cut 33% below baseline next year. And by 2033, they'd be cut 60%.
But look at the bill. It's a bunch of fucking gimmies to the oil companies. Go figure. Don't worry about it, Kevin McCarthy. The Supreme Court's fixing to fix that for you, man. Chevron is suing, and they're gonna win. And it's gonna gut any ability for the federal government to ever do regulation again.
Here are some gems. Republicans' DOA Act would rescind the extra funding we provided to the IRS to go after wealthy tax cheats and serve Americans better. This would add $120 billion to the deficit and help super wealthy individuals and corporations who evade their tax responsibilities. After all our work on health care, the DOA Act would put 21 million people at risk of losing their health insurance. The DOA Act is a field day for polluters, repealing clean energy tax credits that are already generating over 142,000 jobs from more than 190 projects, including projects Republicans have touted back home, before coming to Washington to pull down those very credits.
Republicans, you'll always get what you want. Y'all can fuck right off.
It would even let fossil fuel interests leak polluting methane emissions with no fee for that pollution. By contrast, President Biden's budget proposed $3 trillion of deficit reduction by raising taxes on the wealthy and large corporations. It was win-win. People and corporations dodging tax responsibilities would pay a fairer share, and the economy would grow. This DOA proposes raising costs on working families. It's a lose-lose. Pick your poison, default, or disaster.
I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. But you're gonna lose the elections. Y'all take it easy.
Our administration didn't end well. It didn't end well. And our administration did not end well.
Obviously, the administration did not end well.
I mean, obviously, the administration did not end well.
The administration didn't end well.
It obviously didn't end well.
It didn't end well.
Didn't end well.
It did not end well.
I think I'm very clear in saying that the administration did not end well.